So is he a superstar?
Since we talk about Hallie, right? Stephen A was one person. There were others that agreed, and this has become more of a conversation because of his playoff performance. But I'm asking you all, other perspectives aside, is Halliburton a superstar?
I think he has to be considered one. I
This
do.
is our second year asking.
Yeah, and then
Were we asking superstar last year? Superstar?
he was up there.
Yep, I
And what
remember it.
tier?
So,
What tier?
so Gail, do you remember when we did superstar versus star?
Mhm.
Do you feel like Tyrese has eclipsed? Because I feel like he's a star. Like that. That's undeniable. But has he
Yeah.
eclipsed? Superstar based off of how we were defining it back then. And I don't know if Ashley saw that. I don't think she was recording with us at the time. But you can just get that little context as to how we were kind of making the distinction between superstar and star.
I think it depends on how this series goes with SGA. If SGA is going to be labeled a superstar, then if Tyrese puts up a formidable run, that's one step closer, but is it his Paul George moment?
Hmm.
Hmm.
So Paul George was a superstar at one point. I would say
When
OKC,
you,
he was a superstar.
I was
And
gonna
then
ask, when you think about Paul George and his prime, do you see him in a Pacers uniform or a Thunder uniform?
OKC, and then that was it.
His
I
prime
think,
His prime was in OKC, but he is still most memorable in a Pacers jersey to me.
Mhm.
yes. And then most memorable for a wrong reason in a Clippers jersey. Uh, Fallen Star era. And then podcast Philly P. Uh, but I digress once again. Uh, I would say Tyrese is a superstar. I think if you're asking year another year, like second year in a row, is he a superstar? Yeah. Like, who are they? It's SGA, Tatum, Tyrese, Giannis. Well, there's like then megastars. There's like three megastars.
Okay, let me ask this. Are there tiers to superstar then?
No.
Yes, yes.
Ah,
I would say there's it's like the 1% because now we got the 0.1%. Before it was the
okay.
1%. Now it's the 0.1%. There's always
So,
going to be something. There's
wait,
always
wait,
a
wait. Okay, so Ashley, why do you say no? There aren't tiers.
Because a superstar is a superstar, regardless. Now, are there better superstars than others? Yes. Now, I get what Miguel's saying, megastar. I feel like a megastar is totally different. We're asking if there's tiers of superstars. So, like, Clay being tier, and I'm just throwing names out there. Clay Thompson being tier one, Steph being tier two, Tyrese being tier three. No, I feel like either you're a superstar or you're not.
so
I
you're already a star or not a superstar
okay.
somehow. It's like you guys seen the new season of Black Mirror? Oh
No.
yeah, like sorry, now we have a premium plus.
Okay.
But
Oh, that's a great pull. That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy. If you know, you know. That's a great analogy if you watched it. I don't adamantly disagree with you, Ashley, but I do think that maybe it's not tiers, but I think even if you group everybody that you would consider a superstar, I think you would still have conversations where certain players are not on the same level as other players. And it doesn't mean that everybody isn't a superstar, but that's why I asked about tiers because I think that Halliburton has proven through his performance and his natural talent, especially the type of point guard he is, that he's a superstar. And
oh
ultimately,
wait,
if the conversation is just about superstar or not, I get it. But I think that's the reason why why there's such a hiccup around this is because I think people would say he has superstar talent. But if I'm thinking about the other people I call superstar, I don't know if I will put them in the same stratosphere if you just ask me player for player, superstar aside. And I think that's why the conversation is so split down the middle, in my
And
opinion.
then Hallie's not a superstar. He's a star.
I think that he is.
I do too. But I'm saying if you're going to take away him being a superstar because Jason Tatum's better than he is, then you might as well just not even call Hallie a
No,
superstar.
they're both
I agree
superstars,
with that if that's the logic. I agree with that.
but they're both superstars.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think they're both superstars. Even though I think I would take, well, I know I would take Tatum over Hallie, I still feel like Hallie's a superstar.
But then they're both. I was just saying that they're both superstars because they're not in the next class above.
Yeah, I would. They're not mega stars.
Are the
I
megastars
would
just
say,
the OGs at this point?
uh, see, no, see that those are Hall of Famers. That's a class of their own.
So we're creating tiers anyway.
So they're already in their era. They're in their we reminisce.
So
Uh,
KD, Steph, Bron, we reminisce. They go
Bron is still a megastar.
Bron's
He
still a
stands
megastar.
alone.
The other two are.
Sorry. Bron isn't even a megastar. He's a demigod at this point. That is the 2K build. He is the one of one until we get Wemby is ascending. Demigod ascending. He's got to put some years in. He's got to show that he's an Iron Man. All that. But yeah, there's Hall of Famers that are like KD, Chris Paul's, James Harden's, Russell Westbrook's. Those are your OGs. So we already know where they're going to be. Their legacies are pretty much cemented where they're at. But then there's like the Jokic's, the Giannis's, the Lukas, the Wembys. I would say in terms of like generational talents,
Yeah.
you gotta let me have this.
See, you're like a woman dating a man off of his potential, not who he is right now in front of you.
Hey, stop your blood clot crying. Once those things are cleared, we will see what a team and a nucleus like him looks like. I said it. I've said every year. I remember I was watching the Olympics. I was like, that Jalen Brunson's nice. Think he might be a top 5 PG. We were like, whoa, hey now, where are we now? Said Ant might be one of the top 5 in this league at some point. Oh wow, this is too soon. Where are we now? I'm just putting my
Not
stamp
taking that
making
away.
teams early.
They
Let it
both
be
had
known. I'm writing my checks early, putting it in there.
But
Catch me in a evening pod.
okay, but Miguel, when you said it, the statement wasn't true when you said it. It became true later.
You manifested it.
Yeah,
This is
Brunson.
what Tyrese Haliburton sees on the court. We're fixated here. I'm over here. I'm
That is
I'm
a
in different
terrible selling
directions. I am a commit. But where are these eyes looking 4D in the future?
It's like a job hiring somebody that's a junior in college. Like, no, you get hired.
I'm a
when that
soccer club. I'm over
anticipation
in Europe. I'm
graduation
gonna draft
date
you at
is 2 weeks
14.
away.
I was gonna draft Wemby at 14. If we were a soccer club and we were like Juventus, and I had a chance to take he's
fine.
on the club.
But that don't make him. That doesn't make him a superstar right now.
I believe so. On the defensive end, the impact that he produces, I'm just watch, just wait.
All right, so you're saying wait. So you're saying Wemby is a superstar solely based off of talent, even though from a perspective of winning when it matters, like it just hasn't happened. And not that it's his fault, it just has not happened yet. So he's a superstar solely off of the talent and potential of who he will be. Because do you know how many people we would have to call superstars based off the potential of them and the talent they have shown?
How many men are good men based off potential?
All
of y'all are good men based off.
There's difference. There's levels to it in the potential that certain people show.
But potential is potential, Gail. That's all that matters. It's still potential until we see it. Until it manifests, it's still potential.
The Spurs season was a success. He had blood clots. That's all it was.
It was a success.
They were going to make the playoffs. They had their push, and then blood clots took them out.
10th, right?
10th. That was, and then whatever seed they had to be seen, we might see the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, but we may never know. I'll forever speak in
And with that,
hypothesis.
and with that being,
Wait,
and with
come
that,
on.
If that's the case, the Bulls have the potential to go win the championship next year.
No, you're talking about the Sacramento Kings?
The Bulls.
I'm weak as hell.
I meant what I said.
Yeah, this trolling won't last for any longer. We won't allow it.